Welcome to my networking service. My name is Micah. This is video number 3 of a 5-video series where I will be providing general information about what I do. In this video, we are talking about my aspirational values, so essentially my intentions, what I'm trying to do with this service. So the very first thing I want to talk about is efficacy. So what that means is this going to work for you? So the first thing I want to talk about is timing. So sometimes there are things that work for us, but the timing is off. And so how I present this service is something that you can experiment with, you can explore, you can come and go as you please. Maybe you work real hard on it now and then you come back later in a couple months, couple years. It's something I want to be available to people that can, like I said, come and go, because the timing sometimes is what determines if something works or not. So that's important just to let you know. It's something I believe in, that just because something doesn't work now doesn't mean it's not going to work later. So it could be the exact thing you need, it's just for later. The second thing I'm going to talk about is tactics. So strategy is important. How I do this is how I want to do it. It's how I believe it helps people. It's focused on emotional intelligence. It's focused on personality traits. It's less focused on demographics. It's less focused on physical attractiveness. There's a human element that I'm trying to overemphasize. So just because I'm doing it that way, I notice it does help people, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. That's not what everybody is looking for. It's something I think is underemphasized in our culture, and that's why I'm overemphasizing it. But just to let you know that it's going to lean more towards that. So, and what that means is it just might not work for you. You can try it, like I said, with the timing. You can come and go. You can experiment. You can explore. This is kind of a risk-free thing. Spend a little time. Say, I don't like that. I don't like the feel of it. That's fine. I do it because I enjoy it. I do it because I feel certain of what I'm doing for myself and for a small group of people at the least. So that's just kind of what will affect if it will work for you. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the process itself. So I've noticed just through personal experience and just as I've talked with people that when we meet people organically in workspaces and school environments and through people, that there's just a natural competitive, possessive element to it, because there's just this experience of resources being limited as far as relationships are concerned. And historically speaking, that's correct. But with technology, we're opening up more over the past couple decades of our options, but we're still having some growing pains with that. So I think a level of competition is healthy because it kind of promotes you to fight for what's something that has substance and what matters to you. But I think, like I said, historically it's kind of been overdone, and so I'm trying to offset the competitive culture and move us more towards a collaborative process. So this is where I present plenty of options. You can take your time. This is laid back. There's no pressure. You can have conversations about your experiences. And I believe that if we work together, more of us will get closer to what we want. But with this competitive, like I said, this culture from society, there's a lot of people that are stressed and they're not getting what they want, or it's never enough. And it isn't doing the thing I think it should do as far as social relationships are concerned. So I do believe that it affects other areas of life, but because I'm doing the networking thing, that's why I have the focus on that. So I want that to be the experience of this. I want this to be collaborative. I want people to say, hey, I know somebody that can connect to this person, or hey, I want to connect to this person, or so that it's more like community oriented. It's more human. It's more, we're connecting to stand with one another, and then kind of standing against societal issues as a group. So instead of this competitive, like I'm at the bottom and I'm trying to get to the top so that I can lord over other people. So that's the process I'm going for. I think the last important thing to say here is I take no responsibility for what you do with the connections you meet. So I'm just putting people in front of you, and what you decide to do with that is your choice, your free will, your responsibility. That's why I'm doing the networking and not the matchmaking, because matchmaking is more, this is the person I'm going to connect you to and I'm responsible for that. Whereas networking is like, I'm just putting options in front of you. So I think that's important to mention. So the next thing I want to talk about is my specialty. So there are things that I'm good at naturally, and there are things that I have experienced and practiced and gotten better at and almost nearly mastered as something, a skill set for myself. So the first thing is perception. So that's going to be just wisdom. It's what I'm good at. It's what I'm smart at in. So what this looks like is when we're having an interview, a video chat, I have created a process where we are having one of 34 different conversations, and each conversation is structured to be the same every single time. But what's great about the process I've created is the details or the answers that you're giving to my questions will be different per person, and even different from moment to moment with the same person. So I like that. It keeps things fresh. It keeps things up to date. It helps people connect to you here and now. And so I enjoy that. I'm good at that. I'm very certain of that. And so my perception of how people connect to one another, that's one of the reasons to do something like this with me. So I'm very certain of it. Like I said, very confident. The second specialty I have is attention. So this is also experienced during the interview process. I will be asking questions and pulling out the substance. I talked a little bit about that in the last video, but it's the attention, it's my responsiveness, it's my reactions, it's pulling out these things conversationally, socially speaking, that then promote opportunities or facilitate opportunities for new people then to connect to where you're at right here in this moment. So that is what takes about 15-20 minutes to kind of get that social momentum going. But once it's going, that attention is what pulls this stuff out. And then, like I said, it kind of leans into making connection a little easier for other people. So those are the two things I'm good at. Is what I'm aspirationally trying to do more of and keep up to date. So the last thing I want to talk about in this video is reasons to contact me. So first of all, just before I get into this, scheduling. So if you want to schedule an interview or an overview, either part of the process, just send me an email in the contact box at the bottom of this website. The first reason, besides scheduling, is to look at your possibilities. So you can email me at any point. So I would recommend like once a week or twice a month or once a month, something like that. And send me an email just asking, hey, how many people are in the overview right now? So you can say how many roommates are out there looking for new people, how many people are in the dating pool, how many people are looking for friends, how many people are looking for new working environments, new coworkers. That way, before you have to pay anything, you can just kind of see where the service is at. So because as I'm filming this video, I'm just now starting this, and so the pool is going to be a little bit lower. But because I'm offering the pool and the overview free upfront, and then I'm also offering this free, I think it's going to build the pool fairly quickly because there's just no financial risk in it. So you can email me at any point and just say, hey, how many people are in the pool right now? And that, like I said, before you have to pay money, that's something easy for me just to provide information on. I think that's appropriate. So there's that reason. So the second reason is probability. So who's actually reaching out to you to connect now? So you can ask me that. Same thing. Maybe it's once a week, maybe it's twice a month, maybe it's once a month. You can just reach out and say, hey, how many people have watched my video and say, hey, I can connect to what this person's going through? So this increases your probability of connecting to somebody, and it's information I can give you outside of providing an interview or an overview. And that way you can say, hey, I want to, maybe my first interview is not doing as well. Maybe I want to do a different one, or how I want to go look at my options now that I'm getting some people reaching out to me. And I will let you know which people, once you're doing the overview with me, like if you schedule that afterwards, and I will let you know who in the pool is wanting to connect to you, and then you do vice versa. How many of those people do you want to connect to? And then at that point, once there's a mutual connection, I will send contact information only at that point to each person, and then the networking has been completed for that. So that's all I got for this video. To learn more about my professional ethics and all of this in the service itself, watch the next video in this series. Other than that, hope to work with you soon.